Did you know there's several rappers sitting inside prison with zero chances of ever being released? Rappers commit crimes to boost their gangster image, but these times, it ruined their lives just like Lil Durk, who almost died in prison. Did you know Lil Durk had an altercation with an inmate inside jail? It was announced. Reports reveal OTF rapper Lil Durk was attacked in his cell block earlier this morning at the LA County Jail. The conditions of the rapper's health aren't public. However, a change of jails is likely. This resulted in Kanye West calling Durk inside jail to check on him.
Yeah, man, how you feeling?
And I'm feeling good, just taking a day at a time, just chilling and staying focused for real.
Yeah, I love the time we
from a federal prison.
I love the time we spent in Saudi, man. That was great.
And look, that's all I'm talking about here. The people here, they get their time and they ain't never experienced the world. So I be telling them stories and they be on 20.
Wow. Yeah, man. I just got off the phone with Puff. I talked to him for the first time 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes when you called me, yeah.
Rumors began online that Quando Rondo was behind the hit, because Quando Rondo and Lil Tim did separate interviews and released them on the same day. The main talking point was about Durk. Lil Tim said Durk got himself indicted for a beef that Quando and Tim wanted to end.
Shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
Quando said something similar, but mainly talking about how Durk threw away his responsibilities of taking care of his loved ones.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out or whatever. Like, they could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
But it gets stranger when you realize the lyrics the feds are using against Durk in the case. The lyrics in question are, "Look on the news and see your son, you screaming no no." This is how Quando reacted to Lil Pab's passing at the scene.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
However, Durk's lawyers claim it's a coincidence that he rapped the exact way the Quando reacted. It was announced out of the courtroom. Durk's producer says that the Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy song with Babyface Ray, which prosecutors say bragged about the passing, was recorded 7 months before the incident. The document from the studio where it was recorded shows that Durk recorded it back in January 2022, which was months before Pab's passing. But in an attempt to shine Durk in a better light, they showed a video of him talking about finances before his album released. With it reported, Durk says, "It's better to be low-key with your money. If you can't afford 10 Maybachs, don't buy one."
We already came with a plan to be like, feature run, album time. We're gonna do that prayer, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do everything in the way that it's gonna be big. I ain't looking at nothing small no more. I'll wear this 5 days straight, we doing okay. Durk broke. I sell all that shit. I have one car. It's not that I can't get it, it's I don't give a f. I'm not thinking backwards. If you can't buy 10 Maybachs, don't buy it.
A viral comment shared in response to it. Anyone else feel like Durk's team releasing his best motivational moments and softer moments is a way to package it to show the judge Durk's influence was always good? As the fans correct, Academics tweeted, "We praying for Durk. By the way, he sent me word he will have album of the year." But this had an OTF insider saying, "Durk album shortly, but something bigger is happening behind the scenes. All I can say is, free Durk." A lawyer looked into Durk's case and believes he has an upcoming release date.
So it all depends on the hunger of the U.S. attorney and the AUSA that's involved. And if they want this individual badly enough, they'll make very attractive deals for these individuals. What does a very attractive deal look like? I think they go for the lowest hanging fruit. Whoever, didn't actually guy, maybe someone that was involved that didn't actually, or someone that, but it didn't hit, they're going to have forensics. Yeah. So they'll take whoever is the least culpable. And I think that they'll approach him and make a deal with him that'll be the most attractive. And if that guy doesn't make a deal, they'll move on to the next guy. So usually that's what happens, right? You go for the lowest hanging fruit first, the guy that you think will flip, the guy that didn't really have that much involvement. And I think what also is interesting with the indictment is it wasn't just money. They're like, oh, it could have been money or it could have been career advancement.
As the lawyer's official announcement is, I'm hesitant to say they have a slam dunk case on Durk Banks. I think they have a long way to go to prove the conspiracy against him.
When it comes to Durk Banks, you know, so far I've seen one text that says, don't have them associate my name with any kind of flights that they're taking. Certainly that's not a good text, but is that the only text? Because that doesn't, you know, that in itself doesn't stand on its own. Certainly it's circumstantial. But like I said, we have to wait and see what other evidence they have. If they have a snitch, if they have videotapes or audio tapes of him saying something, I think that's a lot different than, hey, just make sure you don't associate my name with these guys. So I'm hesitant to say that they have, you know, a slam dunk case on Durk Banks.
The feds understand Durk has a good chance of release, so they did something disturbing. They investigated other crimes in the Chicago area, which led to the report of over 230 gigs of digital evidence, which includes audio and video recordings and 20,000 pages of reports. Not only are they throwing in evidence from multiple new cases, but most of the evidence from Jamswire has been submitted to the court. With a new update reading, the feds believe Durk paid to get these two people dealt with. The first is Stefan Mack, who got Durk's brother D Thang, and the second is OTF Jam's baby mom. As she passed once, Durk realized Jam had snitched on him. Feds think OTF Jam is the key to putting Durk in jail for all three crimes. It was during this Instagram live when Durk noticed Jam was wearing a wire. Jam was seen holding the top of his jacket, whispering in it.
I ain't gonna lie, like my whole dream changed. I ain't gonna lie, feeling like back in the day. Oh my! Oh dang! I'm like back in the day. Look, he took out.
Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Hey, when I was growing up, I
don't have a dare. Architect.
Having a dare.
School's out of town.
All that whooping on the net, it got your man shit. Metro!
But this just shows they're pinning multiple M's against Durk. To show that Durk had something to do with Stefan's passing, they showed this Instagram story of Durk saying, "For D Thang," which was posted not long after Stefan passed. They even showed this Instagram story of Durk laughing the following day.
You can't see other shit. What? Tweaking my folks. Hey, somebody always said, slap a car. Somebody always said, slap a car.
However, it's unbelievable that Jam was snitching and informing on Durk because only a year prior, Durk gave him $50,000.
You know what's his name, bro? Steady crying, huh? He steady crying. Feed him. Feed him.
Get in the milk, bro. Get in the milk so baby mama get the tripping, bro.
You see that?
Feed
For my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. This too much. Crazy though. Motherfuckers sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Just buy what I want, do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did now?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years.
Yeah.
So much money. We really was just getting in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
However, months before being arrested, Durk knew Jam was acting strange. An interview came out where Durk said he could tell that anyone around him was informing within a couple of minutes of conversation.
I see shit from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your is gonna cooperate.
Durk spoke more on it and said he tightened up security because he didn't let anyone go to his friend's house anymore once he knew. As you can see, Durk knew it was over during the interview.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be my best friend never been in my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
I promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids. Cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the. We're gonna have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the.
You gotta watch. Everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta. Everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play.
Unfortunately, he found out about Jam too late, and after he had already gathered enough evidence. But while in lockup, Durk sent his goons after him, with a report reading, OTF Jam found by OTF members, hiding out in a crib outside of Atlanta. Sources claim that Jam was dealt a punishment for snitching on Durk, which came with a photo of where Jam had been staying. In reality, this just gives the prosecutors even more things to use against Durk. But the list of evidence they're going through in his trial is a lot. Despite saying the other lyrics were recorded before Pab's passing, the prosecutors still submitted more lyrics. As Durk raps, "Told me they got an Addy, they got the location, go." They believe the lyrics relate to Durk's team being given Quando Rondo's location on the day they took out Lil Pab. This is linked to Brick Baby saying he would drop Quando's location for Durk if he ever asked.
Why is that? Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been coke if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd something.
Right.
And to make it worse, it seems like Brick Baby had some actual knowledge from the streets, because he hinted at Durk being responsible for Lil Pab's passing in an interview. He straight up said, "You can't say Durk never slid for King Von anymore because they got Lil Pab," as we saw him react to the old interview on live stream.
But was this an attempted hit or?
Well, you can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
What? Like, you died.
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the.
Oh. What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
But more evidence they have that links the suspects to Durk and OTF is that they were caught shopping with King Von back in the day, proving there's a connection between the suspects and OTF.
The solitary stone.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there. Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money maker stepped in.
As it gives a motive for the suspects to take out Lil Pab as they wanted to get revenge for Von. However, we saw academics bring up the recent passings that happened in the street and how they correlate with Durk's album, Almost Healed.
2020 Von, 2021 his brother dies. 2022, the niggas who his brother, they get clapped. The two Von, at least a cousin of theirs get clapped. 2023, he drops an album, I'm Almost Healed. You ever think about that, Chad? It's like poetic. 2020, Von dies. 2021, his brother dies. 2022, get back for both those situations. 2023, I'm Almost Healed. Crazy, huh?
But not long after, we saw rumors of more OTF members snitching on Durk, but it came out false, and Bezu told everyone to chill out.
No motherfucker know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man. For real, for real. Them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on, for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all done threw the jams rumors out there. Now y'all talking about Vonnie a snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on, for real. My kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them all put under the jail.
But we heard Durk from a jail phone, and he let everyone know he was standing strong and not going into protective custody.
This call was from a federal prison.
Say what, bro?
I said, I know you're real, but if you need anything, you know I got you.
You know, I appreciate it. You know, it's all that count,
yeah. Yeah, I know how that be, bro. It don't matter, bro. We ain't never moved our money. Except for that first time. Once it was that, it was that. Once it was like then, it was everything was history.
Yeah. You know, I feel back to you saying, I came up here like, shit, where you from? What you got going? I'm in tour, yeah.
Man, what? The PC. Hey.
They thought they thought a computer, you downstairs, they be like, man, you know you, man, send me upstairs. Whatever it is, I got to tap to you. Nah, for sure. Can't go no more with a PC and come out acting all crazy.
However, the crime Yungeen Ace committed will make him serve life in prison. Did you know the Jacksonville sheriff just called out Yungeen Ace by name for the passing of Julio Foolio? It was reported Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters sends a PSA to Yungeen Ace and his crew, ATK, after Julio Foolio's hitters were caught.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
The sheriff would then go into further detail about picking up the Jacksonville rapper.
The drill rappers.
You have drill down here.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a Chicago thing.
No, man, it's down here too, man. And the thing about it is we like to run them out of town. Like there's a couple of them that they know they can't live here anymore. There was a particular song, it's Vanessa Carlton. What's the name of that song? It's real catchy, everybody likes it. Yeah, 1,000 Miles. They sampled her song, and then they made a song, a rap to it, and they were talking about people that had actually been in Jacksonville. About 5 or 6 of them, right? They named in that song?
They did name them, yes.
But that's what drill rap is. It's nonsense, but it's impactful because they're talking about people that have actually been, those people have parents, they have mothers, they have fathers, they have brothers and sisters that feel the effects of what's going on. They think it's a joke.
As the police have been tailing Yungeen Ace for quite some time, and 5 people were arrested for the passing of Julio Foolio, as the suspects Alicia, Isaiah, Sean, Rashad, and Davion were arrested. But the police believe Yungeen Ace was the main kingpin, which is a huge part of why the feds have been canceling his concerts.
Jacksonville police and I don't know how they be doing it, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my? Why y'all trying to up my money? Yeah, man, y'all trying to up my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't dying. I ain't fucking with y'all. Y'all canceled all my shows, but I just had a show in Temple. Y'all got my show canceled in Temple. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. Y'all canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me? Like, what's really going on?
They believe Ace hired them for a specific reason, and it's all due to a leaked video online. With it reported, Jacksonville rapper admits to targeting Julio Foolio because Ace put up $10,000 on his head.
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the day homies, bro, I put it on everything, on my soul, on my kids. I'm the one that smacked Julio Foolio that night when he got at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? There was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that, you feel me? I handled that, cause, you know, Ace had that money on his head, you know, Ace had him put that 10K up, told me to slide, told me to cause you know, he got tired of that nigga running his mouth playing all the time, you feel me? So what had to be done, you feel what I'm saying? So I just handled it, you feel me? It was what it is, bro.
When this went viral online, Foolio's goons retaliated on Ace, with reports sharing, the streets saying Foolio's goons finally caught Ace lacking, this Jacksonville beef just getting started. But with Ace wanting a fresh start, he cut ties from his own gang, ATK. As he posted, "Ain't no such thing as ATK no more, that stuff is gone and over with a video from Ace explaining why.
I say no more ATK, it ain't no more. What you talking about? Niggas don't do shit, niggas don't do shit, tripping. Everybody always got shit to say, these niggas. When the time for the lawyers to be paid, where the niggas be at? Got all this shit to say, where the niggas be at though? Niggas need to get buried. When the time to spend that money, where the niggas be? Always got shit to say, but don't be on shit, man. They don't get no feet wet or nothing, man. You niggas be talking, man. What's wrong with these, man? Talking about uncomfortable, don't talk like me. Don't get the man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more.
However, academics already assumed all this was happening, as he told Ace that he was next to be dealt with.
Whack 100 recently spoke about you, and he says, "You're next."
Why would you say that, bro? Why would you wish that for me?
Well, I don't know if he was wishing that. I think he's just thinking about, like, you know, in terms of, you know, people want to get the target, like the high profile target, and if Foolio is out the way, now they're like, well, the only way to make another thing is you.
Well, I wish on me, bro. Man, bro, I've been living my whole life. I'm letting you get up on. I'm not letting nobody get up on me. So
with his passing now, right? Does it mean that this whole situation is over?
There's never no situation.
But they further discussed a previous incident from a couple years ago, where Ace was ambushed by his ops at a restaurant, which resulted in his brother passing.
I'm trying to come for him. I'm trying to hold RJ. I'm trying to hold him. I'm trying to RJ open the door. I open the door, I'm pushing him out. I'm like, I got you, bro. I got you. He got grab a shirt. I'm like, bro, I can't move. He tell me he can't move. I jump out the car. Cope open the door. Cope said, call everyone. Call one.
Yungeen Ace has been tried many times by his ops, and he's dealt with it. But it's different with the feds after him, because the police found evidence that leads them to believe Ace was the lead man of the hit on Foolio, with the statement reading, Julio Foolio, born June 21st, 1998, was involved in an ambush from rival street members in Tampa. What was originally supposed to be a birthday celebration for Julio quickly turned into the worst thing possible. Foolio and his crew rented an Airbnb for the weekend, and for some reason, once they arrived, Julio instantly posted about the party on his story.
Hey, the pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Foolio booking ESPN. I'm gonna put it right here. We just got here, bruh. You got to add it. You got to add it, man. Push up. We just got to this bit. Tampa, Florida, man. You already got to add it to the pool party. Push up at 5:30, man. Push up at 5:30, man. We finna get everything right. Push up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, man. It's up.
Rather than taking precautions and waiting 24 hours before posting the party, Foolio kept updating his Instagram as the party went on, as Foolio shared how everyone was having drinks and partying, yet on the other side, his ops were planning, showing to his ops that he won't be 100% and ready if anything were to go down. But only a couple hours into the party, the cops were called, and they called the landlord of the home, as they were quick to kick out Foolio and his crew. Rather than just taking the rest of the night easy, Foolio thought it was best to continue the party. So he posted a banner for a local club, telling everyone to pull up to it. It's almost like Foolio wanted something to go down that night because he was careless. Because it's an unwritten rule among rappers to never post where you are in the moment, but Foolio continuously broke that rule. Once they got in the club, Foolio posted them walking to the upstairs lounge.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up the stairs. Over the couch, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as 20 deep, lit everywhere we go.
With Foolio continuing to supply his ops with updates every 30 minutes, they had time to get together, figure out a plan, and scope out Foolio's location. But an interesting thing to note about Foolio's passing was that it's on the 23rd of the month, which was important to Foolio's rivals. Once Foolio and company were done in the club, they got together in the parking lot where Foolio's manager found a hotel for them all to stay. He found a Holiday Inn close down the street and they began heading over. Unfortunately, as they get there and wait outside for a few minutes before going in, rival cars filled with street members come out targeting his crew. With everyone having partied that night, no one was on guard, and it was terrible for Foolio's crew. A few of the hitters' main job was to locate Foolio. Once they finally found him, you can guess what happened next, as this was a clear retaliation against Foolio, with it being the 23rd of the month, because it's the same day of the month that Foolio dropped his track When I See You, which makes fun of Yungeen Ace for losing his close friends. Foolio rapped in the lyrics, "Went out to eat on his birthday, 4 hit, 3 passed in the worst way. He kept dissing on me. Now we hitting 23. But now on Foolio's birthday, the ops hit 4 people, including Foolio, on the 23rd of the month. And to top off the rivalry, Ace released a song shortly after the incident where he rapped, 4 in the car, and 1 of them gone, 3 got hit, as Ace remixed Foolio's original line and used it against him, just further proving this was retaliation by Ace's crew, and they wanted their get back on Foolio. But just 6 hours after he was taken out, Ace dropped a diss track titled Do It, which was directed at Julio Foolio after his passing. At the same time, Yungeen Ace's right-hand man posted an old tweet from King Von which reads, "Game over. We won. Stupid." Yet the story between Foolio and Ace gets even crazier, as just 1 month before Foolio was taken out, he revealed there was supposed to be a collaboration between both groups to stop the crime against each other.
No record. Y'all probably didn't know this. Even though I said what I said, bro. Me and Jedi Breeze supposed to be doing a Stop the Violence song. We probably gonna get that shit in motion. So I'm gonna just get that shit out of the way for the kids, for the youth and shit. And Yeah, we gotta make this look better, man.
You and J. Breezy have a Stop the Violence record coming.
Yeah, that shit, it's talked about. I DM'd about it. My big cousin wrote about it too. He said he with it, I'm with it. But basically right now we trying to find a beat.
Making many upset that this entire situation could have been avoided. However, rappers and celebrities in the industry have different thoughts, as Charleston White reacted by sharing.
And everybody saying, well, man, what you think about this? Well, all I'm gonna say is, man, that works hard to die. He earned this here. And goddamn it, should nobody be sad? Way that live and talk gangster, should nobody be sad what done happened to Julio Foolio? One thing we know about it, he didn't go to heaven.
That same cut, what's that?
Yeah, now one thing about it, he ain't in heaven. Nah, wait, that boy, he had all the time in the world to apologize to them people. He was going to the graveyard, rapping at the graveyard. Man, that was making people mama cry. It's some people relieved, wiping their forehead saying, "Ooh, Lord, thank you." And then there's some people crying, said, "Oh, we gonna miss one leg, one foot."
As he's saying Julio's not going to heaven for one specific reason, which is mainly because of the passing of Yungeen Ace's best friend, ATK Mitch. Back in April 2022, officers saw Julio driving a Dodge Durango with an illegal window tint. They pulled over Julio to ask him some questions, but suddenly a prosecutor showed up and searched Julio's vehicle illegally. Once they realized who Julio was, he was taken into their patrol car and got questioned about the passing of ATK Mitch.
All right, so I ain't want to bring it up. I know you're gonna be upset. Mitch, there's some texts I want to talk to you real quick about what happened to Mitch.
How long that's gonna take?
Not that long, depends on you. They're just gonna ask you what you know about what happened.
Once he was taken into the car and questioned, he was brought to the police station to be interrogated.
I used to come to my mama's house. I used to stay on the corner. He would come over there, show his, support.
What type of work do you do? What type of
artist?
You're an artist. Okay. As far as Mitch go, what are you hearing?
Nah, really. I was in Miami when I heard the news, you know what I'm saying? I was down making music, and I saw posting on Instagram, Mitch, everybody, the whole Jacksonville, Mitch.
The detectives wanted to know how Mitch related to Foolio in the streets and how they knew each other, and they'd asked Foolio where he was at the time of Mitch's passing.
All right, the reason why I'm here, I am lead on your friend's case.
Ooh.
You ain't have a friend who recently got killed?
A lot of friends that
recently. Mitch.
Oh yeah.
So I'm lead on that. I don't know how close you guys were. Can you kind of give me just run down on y'all relationship when y'all met? How long y'all been partners or whatever?
The detectives had nothing on Julio and were simply hoping for a slip up from him. Yet he stayed quiet and didn't give anything up.
Guys, if you may know or hear something, that'd be helpful as well. Because if you know his mom, you can sit up there and call his mom. Then I'm pretty sure you would want her to have some answers as well.
Oh, my little brother, I don't know who did. I don't know. I ain't here. That's what I'm saying. You will never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I just heard it. They say little brother. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami at the time though.
You ain't tired of that, man?
Yeah, but I'm known to this.
With Foolio shutting down any conversation about Mitch's passing, they ask if Julio's music is why so much crime is around him.
Do you think that your music or your ways or the way you conduct yourself through your music had anything to do with him?
Nah, because even before I was rapping, it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say it's my music, that's why somebody, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, do you think it influenced someone or triggered someone, like the way y'all going back and forth with it? Do you feel that way?
Nah. A song can't make no do nothing, bro.
This had many angry at Julio for lying about the truth of Mitch, but everyone looks at Julio's passing as a direct retaliation for what happened to Mitch. But one of the worst crimes committed by a rapper was from Melly, who may get lucky with pre-trial release, but will be sentenced to life during trial. Did you know the YNW Melly release date hearing was just set by Judge Fiend? It reads, a second bond hearing for Melly has been set for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Melly's attorney, Raven Liberty, will be presenting the argument for the rap star's bond, with Judge Martin Fiend presiding. But a lawyer sitting inside court today wrote, Judge Fiend looks to be seriously contemplating dismissal. He's mad, and the state continues to act like a penalty case is an annoyance. Not observing orders, not preparing for hearings. This resulted in Melly's lawyer giving reasons why he should be released from jail. They kept it simple and told the new judge that no firearm was ever found.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
Melly's lawyers also showed GPS and text evidence from when the crime went down, which shows he was running away down the street.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
However, it was then announced, Judge Fiend confirms Melly should be allowed a chance of a bond release till trial begins, stating he's been sitting in jail for several years without a conviction. It's just not right. But we then heard the judge announce Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah was allowed to go home, as she posted a statement saying, "And to my village, thank you. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine," as she didn't like how she was broadcasted on the news.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
But in a unique switch-up from how judges usually are, it was announced. Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days, because Judge Fiend actually wants this case to proceed and not keep getting delayed.
No, let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office. But I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two. At minimum.
You decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
The judge couldn't believe how long he's been in jail with no verdict, as the judge said to the prosecutors to give their reasonings why he has to stay locked up or he will be released on bond. This is when the prosecutors unloaded against Melly with evidence, as they brought up the newly found motive that Melly had for the crime. According to an O-Block member, Melly wanted to make more money from the YNW business.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
This was supposed to be a secret that Melly told King Von, but Von shared it before he passed away. But Melly's motivation stems from him and Bortland doing concerts, selling merch, and brand deals to make money, while Sack Chaser and Juvie apparently didn't do much. And if you know how King Von was in street situations, you can guess the way he told Melly to handle it. And when you pair it to evidence of Melly admitting to the crime hours after it happened, it looks terrible for him.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
Also on Melly's phone was a video from someone's Facebook, which showed Bortland and Melly being happy after Sack Chaser and Juvie passed only hours before.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
As this shows them having no sympathy for their fallen best friends. But we had investigators dig into the physical evidence of the crime, like the Jeep they were driving in, as we had Sergeant Williams reveal someone inside the car had to have done the crime.
How many rounds were inside the car?
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Oh.
My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
With Williams admitting the suspects had to be in the back left seat, Juvie's mother revealed who was sitting there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
This is when the prosecutors did the worst thing imaginable, as they're going to get Bortland to snitch against Melly with their new tactic, as they want to do court with Melly and Bortland at the same time.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other. But that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Because if Bortland knows he had nothing to do with ending Sack Chaser and Juvie, he won't just sit there and accept the life sentence behind bars, making it likely Bortland could point the finger Melly's way if it comes to it. Because you may not know that Melly's lawyer already tried pinning the crime against Bortland in the first trial.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As we even had a forensic scientist confirm the findings of powder on his hands, as she said.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of heart residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of heart residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was heart residue present on the hands.
Bortland didn't like this at all. Once this information came out, he tweeted out, "Mind games don't work on people like me," which he posted with a handshake emoji, as if he's accepting some sort of deal. But did you know Melly's financial issues are going to get worse? They found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to Melly forcing her not to testify in the trial, which is known as witness tampering. This charge alone carries a life sentence in prison regardless if he took out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a 2-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Not to mention the tampering case would be its own case, meaning more lawyer fees for Melly. But with Mariah deeply involved in the case, Juvie's father investigated how Melly witness tampered with her.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
if found guilty, Melly will be sentenced to life inside prison for the witness tampering charges. And due to him tampering, that's the reason he hasn't been able to use a phone in jail, as his mother Jamie King spoke about it, saying it's not fair.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
With Melly unable to use the phones, they likely have evidence of him witness tampering that they'll show in court. Regardless of this, Jamie King spoke about how she feels heartbroken for her son because of all that he's had to go through.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
However, this is only the start of Melly's recent problems. Did you know it was announced? Melly's mom trends after she announces that she started a fans account while he stands trial. She appeared in an interview where she talked all about it.
Why did you decide to break the internet the other day? You're saying that you're YNW Melly's mom and you're about to hit fans.
Why not? You make money while you sleep, and I turned 40 this year. Why not do something crazy?
Did you start it yet, though?
What? My only? Yeah.
How much you made the first day? I just need to know the first day.
The first day was pretty epic. It was pretty epic.
Give me a ballpark figure.
Like 40-ish, 50.
One day?
Day one.
This took the internet by storm. Even DJ Academics had this to say.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting her own. And I gotta be honest with y'all, man, like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
While DJ Academics claims it's not about money, social media would disagree. An interview came out with Melly's mother and brother, as we hear his brother rip into Melly for spending his money in dumb ways.
I would assume
but it's still,
that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But
Yeah.
he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want to chain no more.
But it's likely she made the account to get her mind off Melly's trial, as he's had to check on her well-being multiple times before.
Sorry.
However, a rapper you wouldn't expect to go to prison is Lil Baby, but he's being tied in a RICO. Did you know the evidence on why Lil Baby is targeted on RICO charges was released? It was announced. Gang investigator Marissa plays wiretap in court, alleging that Atlanta rapper Lil Baby put money on people's heads. In the video, Marissa says Dominique Jones put money on people's heads, which is Lil Baby's real name.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's finna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Them got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unk, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unk.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by, what do you mean on somebody's head? Where's that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested? And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
This got the attention of Young Thug, who tweeted, "Biggest liar in the DA office," exposing what Marissa looks like while calling her a liar, as DJ Academics explained Marissa's involvement in trying to lock up Lil Baby.
So there's someone named Marissa Viverito. This person was a undercover cop. Now, what she testified to and spoke to, it's related to the Lil Baby 4PF. So 4PF are beefing with these guys called OMF, which is part of this like bigger like gang called like Goodfellas. And those guys, some of them got indicted federally. Remember when Lil Baby shot the music video in that hood? These guys, they shot the music video that Lil Baby was at. Allegedly, some 4PF dudes went to go to retaliate, and then they came back to spin back on Lil Baby, or not Lil Baby, let's just say 4PF. The investigator that was supposed to be undercover is someone named Marissa Viverito. She testified to a few things. Yo, these OMF dudes are beefing with 4PF. We got wiretaps, so this is how you know an indictment definitely is coming.
But it gets scarier from here because Lil Baby was name-dropped in the RICO document. It was announced the head of the Georgia PD Council's gang unit says his office is preparing to defend against a potential 4PF RICO. As Academics would explain, the city of Atlanta is getting ready to pursue 4PF and Lil Baby on these charges.
So there's this journalist, he's out of Atlanta. Well-reputed journalist. His name is George Cheedy. Like, he was the person who was very accurate on predicting that YSL was going to get indicted in a RICO. He's an Atlanta journalist, certified. He's really good. He's came out and he said that the Atlanta Public Defenders Council, like the office, they're basically their specialized unit for Georgia's Public Defender's Office. The unit that specializes on gang cases says the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF case. Now, I don't know what OMF is, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted.
This got Snoop Dogg's attention and he tweeted, "First Young Thug and now Lil Baby being played by that Atlanta DA. Y'all Atlanta rappers be careful out there." But the news revealed an update reporting Lil Baby taken into county jail for questioning on the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Police questioned why he closed 4PF after the crime took place. But when Lil Baby was questioned about it in an interview, he seemed a bit weird as he said,
"First 4 pockets full had to come to an end." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'd be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't. Right. Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we're gonna switch that whole thing up. It ain't even just about the police. It's just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was supposed to make my label something that I talk about.
But the official police report reads, the Atlanta Police Department is calling out Lil Baby, saying his actions led to the passing of 2 young individuals last summer. In a press conference, the Atlanta PD announced 7 arrests were made in connection to the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Major Ralph stated the incidents were part of a gang war that started with an incident at Lil Baby's music video shoot last May, which had 3 people injured. The officer added, "This team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable," referring to Lil Baby.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
As Baby recorded a music video on an ops block near a taco shop. The lady featured on the news saw Lil Baby was there and posted a video to Facebook.
Where y'all at? We over here kicking it. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. You know how we do it at Slapping Taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how we doing this Slapping Tacos, baby.
According to police, the ops didn't know Lil Baby was around originally. It was her Facebook video that got their attention and made them pull up with firearms. But what's concerning is the feds are blaming Baby for all of it. As we saw a viral tweet share, the Atlanta DA wasn't successful getting Young Thug. Watch as she will now target Lil Baby and use him as an example for the rest of the rappers supplying gangs with fame, money, and items for street crimes. With the feds announcing this crime, it makes sense why Baby closed 4PF. Cause after Baby's Wham album release, it was announced Lil Baby's new album Wham was a rushed release due to legal battles coming his way. Him closing 4PF was the first sign to this, as the feds warned the public previously about Lil Baby's involvement in Atlanta crimes on the news.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There gonna be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
And the district attorney Fannie Willis made it clear she's coming after Lil Baby. As it was suddenly reported, Baby was arrested Monday night for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit and was sent to the Clark County Detention Center, where he's being held on $5,000 bail.
I need 20 bands, call the number for me. Hey, security, the black guy, call the number for me. They locking me up for a term, but I got license. Security, I need 200 bands a year, I swear to God, security. Security, I need 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Hey, lady, my check leave at 9:10. Nah, check me good, I gotta my nut. Check me good. You on the camera, I gotta my nut, check me good. I gotta go. Alright, y'all let me that car shoot myself dead. Y'all fire.
However, it's a lot deeper than this, because 8 months ago, academics revealed on stream that 4PF was on the same evidence file that Young Thug and YSL were on.
I've heard 2 of them. Like, I've heard the 2 of them. They're like, yo, these are going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names. And I don't know if I should say it. Again, I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing, whatever, but these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name. I'll just say this. I believe you know who the obvious name is. They're in Atlanta. They go by three letters. They've been popping. One of the top, I would say, 3 rappers in the game.
But with the YSL case over, academics revealed Baby's recent arrest seemed like a warning for an upcoming RICO charge.
I'm gonna tell you some things that you're gonna have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fannie Willis started targeting YSL, Fannie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were gonna get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them, it's okay, we got it. So the feds told him, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Durk, especially after Von died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized we gonna get Durk eventually. Doing the math? You see why Lil Baby is moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on county state watch.
This further adds to why Baby's been quiet online. He's been preparing music, businesses, and finances in case he's arrested. Lil Baby's already been warned another time too, like when they arrested him for illegal window tints.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you over? These windows, they tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
Alright, they give me the ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen? 327. You don't be want to have these. You gotta have tints in that level. You folk crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32. Huh? You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the tint.
The body cam footage corrupted, but minutes later, Baby was taken into custody. While driving away, he got pulled over by another officer, likely due to his name being flagged in the system by the first officer. The second cop took him to jail for an unknown reason, but thankfully for Baby's money, he flew out his lawyer and got bailed out that night. Both Lil Baby and Young Thug feel like Gunna's snitching had something to do with it, as they started going after him online, with Thug tweeting, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats." The name Wham refers to rapper Lil Baby, which makes sense because he's been against Gunna the whole time. Baby responded to Young Thug on Instagram saying, "We should." The day after, Young Thug followed it up, tweeting, "Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy." This got Gunna's brother's attention, who said, "Trust and believe the feeling is mutual." That night, Thug linked up with T.I. and posted a story sharing how he's home and did it the right way, throwing a little diss towards Gunna.
Hey man, what you got to tell these people?
Back Jack.
You feel me?
You did.
Hey man, ain't no cap in it.
No cap in my rap.
You feel what I'm saying?
The right way.
It's time.
The right way, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right way.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
And go tell that.
Thug wanted to let Gunna know he made it the right way out. However, there are problems with Young Thug creating beef with Gunna. Academics pointed out he believes Young Thug was given an easy plea deal because the feds predicted this would happen. With it announced, Academics speaks on Young Thug getting released and says the stipulations that he's got are a setup for the court to try to put Young Thug back in jail. It's a setup for Thug to fail his plea deal and go to prison for 20 years, while possibly getting Lil Baby in the process.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case. Beat the case means you got no stipulations. The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also a huge setup. If you gonna tell me that they're gonna monitor him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or gang members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is activity. But he's always gonna talk about him and his doing his thing. They might consider that activity. He might be like, yo, it's like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you talking about the game. So, we celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain, you can see was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody know Thug was not that weight. So we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
However, K Flock will have his sentencing in a few months. Did you know K Flock spoke out on Instagram Live after his trial ended? To understand his message, it's important to see this announcement. K Flock found not guilty of M charges, but guilty of 5 other charges, including possession and RICO. But with creative lawyer work, Flock's lawyer mentioned the 5 guilty charges do not faze him. The passing of Hernandez was the most worrying charge, and with him beating that charge, it will reflect on his release date. As reported, the prosecutors put in a letter saying, "It could be misunderstood. The jury must determine whether the defendant, with his idiosyncrasies, believed the victim was about to use physical force," because the judge wanted the jury to make their decision on Flock being a reasonable person. However, this report makes it seem like the jury took into account Flock's perspective and how he's grown up in the street life. Because of his unique mindset and fears, Flock truly believed Oscar was about to take him out. This made it easier to justify self-defense on the M charge, which had Flock speaking about it on Instagram.
Flock here, been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though, make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till Allah says it's over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
But the other 5 charges Flock is found guilty of are from his gang member snitching on him. With it announced, K Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known as Dougie, but not to be confused with Flock's best friend Dougie B, because the snitch Dougie was arrested for selling. Instead of doing his time, he took a plea deal and threw Flock under the rug for everything. But surprisingly, Flock was still in positive spirits while on the jail phone with rapper Top 5.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock.
Lil TJ posted in support of Flock saying, "Free K Flock." But with Dougie snitching on Flock, it affects his release date heavy. In the transcript from the courtroom, we see prosecutors asking Dougie in court, "After you got hit, who called you in the hospital?" Dougie answers, "K Flock called. He said, you know we got you, bro." He follows it up saying, "He was gonna retaliate against whoever hit me." And so the prosecutors confirm his testimony saying, "Flock hit them up in retaliation for you?" Dougie answered yes, and mentioned someone got grazed during the incident. They even got Dougie to admit that Flock had a firearm, and how he was on calls with rival team members who circled their block. This lines up with Oscar Hernandez's passing, with Flock's friend B Love saying,
"Okay, but so I saw some fans who are off at both me and Academics after K Flock got locked up because, well, just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people, especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
He said this because the case files explain how the murder went down. On December 23rd, 2021, K Flock was charged with the passing of Oscar Hernandez. Flock is seen walking down a sidewalk with his sister. On this day, Flock's wearing a blue coat, Shiesty mask, and designer jeans. As he passes a barbershop, his rival gang member Oscar notices him. Instead of letting Flock pass by, Oscar confronted him. As he asked Flock, "What are you looking at?" With them hating each other, they started yelling back and forth. Flock continued walking because he didn't want his sister involved with any street stuff. However, Oscar continued following Flock. We'd even see on camera that Oscar was reaching into his jacket as he followed Flock. So with Oscar not backing off and grabbing in his jacket, Flock turned around and used his firearm at Oscar Hernandez. He hit him multiple times, which left Oscar falling to the sidewalk, and Flock fled the scene. Witnesses dialed 911 to help Oscar. Paramedics arrived and helped Oscar while they transported him to a local New York hospital where he sadly passed away. All that was left at the scene was Oscar's slides he was wearing and shell casings. Immediately, the NYPD secured footage from a store on the street where the crime went down. They had the entire incident on camera, but no way of knowing who the suspect was. With the police department lost, they reached out to the public for help and posted this picture of Flock. Almost immediately, fans of Flock informed the authorities it was him, because just earlier that day he was on IG Live wearing that same blue jacket and Shiesty mask. The feds sent out a warrant for his arrest. Luckily for Flock, he used his last few hours as a free man in a good way. He hired one of the best lawyers in the game, and they walked into the police station together. His lawyer released a statement right away saying, "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were immediately made with the NYPD once I learned he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our investigation into these allegations. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case and further investigate the DA's noteworthy disclosure." Right away, Flock's lawyer saw the video evidence and began a self-defense claim.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. You know, we consider that to be self-defense.
So he did heat him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. You know, I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case, but the government claims that he pulled the... But at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded...
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense. And I would say to the public, you know, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear he's going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the...
This had Bobby speaking out about Flock's situation in this interview.
What's it like for you watching the K Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, son. I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm wishing him the best right now, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness. He got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of the...
We ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay positive.
However, this crime let the feds inspect every part of Flock's life. Knowing they were pursuing a self-defense claim, the NYPD dug into Flock and stated it was a result of Flock's affiliation with a Third Side Street team. This allowed them to add RICO to his charges. With it reported, K Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges, also known as RICO charges. Hip-hop creators reacted to the news saying, K Flock just caught a RICO, it's really over. DJ Academics even said, feds just unsealed an indictment indictment on K Flock for a RICO charge. The mandatory minimum if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch is life in prison. He still is facing state charges that have him locked up. Flock's lawyers responded with their reaction to the charges, stating, "We're not surprised by the federal charges, as we've been fighting Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge. But the fact it's now being used as a basis for a penalty charge is extraordinary. It's clear on video that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from Oscar, which is when Kevin used an item to defend himself and his sister from an armed Oscar who was about to pull out a firearm from his pocket. Surprisingly, his first day of the trial went well, with it reported, "Day 1 of K Flock's trial is over. Instant thoughts are, the prosecutors are not ready. They're stuttering many words, not answering the judge's questions, and not supplying evidence to defend K Flock's lawyer's defense. But it's important to know how all sorts of rappers are being looked at by the feds, because even Lil Baby was just called out by the police."
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
Even Yungeen Ace was name-dropped by the Jacksonville sheriff. Are we witnessing a rap takedown by police?
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
During Flock's first day in trial, they noted that he looked emotional, yet they remained confident he was going to win as they let him speak in this message.
I know what's going on, man. Flock, I know something you, man. Like, free me to the guys, man. Hey, yo, like, I'll be back real soon. Shout out to my fans and my supporters, man. I love all y'all, man. For all of you out there, violence, man. For me, and do what y'all supposed to do, man. For me, get through life correctly, bro. Like,
get money.
But at the end of the day, the feds will always find a way to keep these rappers. Just like what Boozy said about YNW Melly's case, the feds will do anything to keep you.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was sitting in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a mistrial.
Unfortunately for Flock, news reports believe his sentence will be 20+ years. But a rapper who was just recently released is YoungBoy, but there's a high likelihood of him returning to prison for one reason. Did you know rappers are exposing NBA YoungBoy for snitching out of jail early? As it started with the announcement of, looks like YoungBoy has been released from federal prison and either transferred to a halfway house or is headed home. I'll confirm soon. It was later confirmed he's now home, but rappers were confused. No Jumper announced, Famous Richard says YoungBoy is working with the feds, which came from an Instagram post reading, YoungBoy is snitching. This is his 3rd time getting released within 4 years on new charges. On King David, you can't do 10 months of a 23-month sentence. My first offer was 5 years for a firearm charge. YoungBoy's definitely with the police. He probably the reason Smirk locked up, as fans showed this clip of YoungBoy just walking around in prison.
It is.
However, attached to the video was this tweet reading, honestly, I kind of believe it too. The timing, the energy, the way things are playing out, it's all looking a little too convenient. Wouldn't be the first time someone played both sides. In this game, you never really know who's working with who. Gotta watch everything. But oddly enough, when YoungBoy got home, he jumped on a FaceTime with Aiden Ross, which only fueled more evidence of YoungBoy snitching coming out. It's important to rewatch the moments that YoungBoy was released. When YoungBoy got to court, he had fans hacking into the Zoom call and yelling, "Free YoungBoy."
Free YB, man. Free YB.
Everyone needs to stay muted. Okay.
Free YB.
All right. Mr. Golden's case has already been called. He's done with court today, for those of you interested. Everyone keep yourselves muted.
Free YB.
Free YB.
Shortly after, YoungBoy came in with a smile and laughing after he just heard his fans supporting him. One of the first things he did in court was sign this document that stated he understands English but only has 8th grade level education. But did you know there's a chance YoungBoy returns to jail? Because his release description in the court file reads, on March 10th, 2021, YoungBoy was arrested and charged with firearm possession by a convicted felon and possession of an unregistered firearm. Because YoungBoy was caught in a music video shoot where he was playing loud music and dancing on the hood of a car. Since he did this in a random neighborhood, a lady down the street got concerned and called the cops. She described that several men were dancing around holding firearms in the air, which had cops pulling up on YoungBoy and arresting him.
So yesterday at court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on YoungBoy back in September during that music video, the cop comes right up to him, you know, whatever, he puts the cuffs on him, and then YoungBoy's reaction is kind of hilarious. I thought it might be interesting for y'all. He was like, yo, big dog, man, what you doing, man? Why you putting these cuffs on me? That's what he was calling the cop. He was calling the cop big dog. He's like, big dog, you up right now. I didn't do nothing. You could search me. I got nothing on me. Cop doesn't listen. Cop puts him in and the whole time YoungBoy's like, yo, man, what you doing, man? Big dog, why? And it really goes to show you a lot about this case. YoungBoy didn't think he did anything wrong. He didn't think that they were gonna go and start taking footage from music videos and said, you held a gun in a music video and you're a felon and that's a federal felony and you're gonna face 3 to 5 years. No, and it really shows you that these federal laws, as applied to kids like NBA YoungBoy from the hood, are extremely unfair and extremely punitive, and we need to take a good long look on what's going on there.
While YoungBoy was being put in handcuffs, his cameraman attempted to delete the music video footage since he knew YoungBoy couldn't be seen with a firearm. Unfortunately, the police confiscated the camera before it was deleted, resulting in the feds having video footage of YoungBoy holding firearms. In an attempt to free him of the firearm possession charge, his lawyer argued that the police obtained the camera illegally, but it didn't hold up in court. With it announced, YoungBoy has lost his appeal with the feds, and now prosecutors can use footage of him holding firearms to convict him.
Update on NBA YoungBoy. He lost the appeal with the federal appeals court. He can take it up to the Supreme Court. What happened? So the federal judge, the lower court, ruled in his favor. She said that the video of him holding what looks like to be a is suppressed. It can't be used at trial against him. The way you guys obtained it, you violated his constitutional rights. Now, the government went to the 5th Circuit United States Court of Appeals. The 5th Circuit said, you know what, we have a different decision, and we're going to say that the government can use that evidence. It is going to be allowed in the case.
Realizing it wasn't going in YoungBoy's favor, he knew he had to sign a plea deal. Just before the judge officially sentenced him, it was reported the judge gave YoungBoy a positive message about him being robbed of his talent and potential due to his addiction, and wished him the best of luck after he's out of prison.
Mr. Golden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Golden.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have, if I could be excused.
You may.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
With YoungBoy receiving 23 months behind bars for his crimes, it didn't look great for him. But his lawyer later announced, I wrapped up YoungBoy's case. He got 23 months. But because of the way we worked it with credit on another case in Louisiana, he should be out in 3 or 4 months, which put his release date to July initially. However, overpopulated jails led to his release even quicker. Because on March 3rd, Rich the Kid interviewed with academics, and they agreed YoungBoy would be released soon.
Drake YB Durk, right now. And I ain't gonna lie to you, because I was even looking at my Spotify like recap. Yo, I think hip hop is due, like, YB has to stay out of jail. Yo, we're thirsty for his There's a
Get out in March, right?
Yeah, it's more music with him.
Wait on it. Wait on it.
However, YoungBoy won't be free for long. In a desperate attempt by the feds to keep YoungBoy in jail, the feds brought up the passing of Jada Youngin. With both of them being Louisiana natives, Jay always hoped to collab with YoungBoy and praised him in this interview.
Me and YoungBoy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of YoungBoy music.
Yeah, we gonna collaborate pretty soon and put on for our state, because when we do, I feel like this is gonna be one of the hardest collaborations ever.
They dropped their collab song titled Up With Me, but later had a falling out when Jay leaked a snippet of an unreleased YoungBoy song. He responded to Jay in the comments saying, "Delete this now. I don't know how you even got my song. I don't mess around like that." But Jay defended himself and said he wouldn't take no disrespect.
I'm a real and I stand on everything, you hear me? Ain't no gonna play with me, ain't gonna disrespect me.
Jay went so far as to diss YoungBoy in his song titled 38K, where he raps, "You put that comment on my post, they laughed about that, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me," which had photos of Jay hanging with YoungBoy's baby mama. In return, YoungBoy tried to catch Jay lacking in the streets, and it's unclear if YoungBoy was ultimately responsible for his passing.
You be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Open their mouth, came to what they was, man. Oh.
But when you mix this with YoungBoy's other case that's pending, this is where it gets scary. He was wanted for skipping a court appearance for an out-of-state case, which led to more charges. Being out of state meant the FBI got involved and they staked out his Louisiana mansion a couple years ago. After some time, YoungBoy got in his car and drove out. The FBI followed YoungBoy onto the highway, which started the high-speed chase. The FBI signaled YoungBoy to pull his car over. At first, he complied and did just that, but once the agent got out of the car behind him, YoungBoy put his car back in drive and floored it down the highway. After fleeing down the highway, he ran into traffic and went off to the regular streets. Once YoungBoy created a gap between him and the feds, he got out of his vehicle and started a foot chase, which was terrible for YoungBoy, considering he was wearing designer shoes, skinny jeans, a jacket, and some chains. But what's crazy is while YoungBoy was being chased by the feds, he ran through a fan's backyard as he was caught in photos running from the officer as the fan told YoungBoy to run faster. Shortly after, YoungBoy was swarmed by police and was taken into a squad car.
You want to talk to us? Tell us what happened, or not?
As soon as we're done with everything, we'll take off the handcuffs, okay? But
yeah, I don't have a statement. I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this. I'm probably if I haven't committed a crime or done that.
Okay. All right. Give us a second, okay?
Okay, no voluntary statement.
Hey, he's not willing to give a
So,
statement.
any statement, any voluntary statement?
No, sir. Mr. Martinez, I don't want to give a statement. I don't want to be in this.
These were serious charges against YoungBoy. He had speed racing, resisting arrest, and many more. The judge didn't take easy on him. But luckily for his millions of dollars, YoungBoy got the best lawyers and got a bond.
For YoungBoy out of California is a $540,000 bond. He put up $500,000 in cash. In addition, he put up as collateral 2 properties worth in excess of $1.5 million, and he has to wear an ankle monitor. However, he's not going to be on house arrest. According to the bond set by the California judge, he simply has to wear the ankle monitor but is otherwise free to travel. Given that the California judge found that these circumstances are sufficient for a YoungBoy, why would a Louisiana judge find any differently? The Louisiana judge is looking at the same facts, he's looking at the same charges, and he's making a decision under the exact same federal law. Sure, it's a different court and a different circuit, and the way the laws are applied varies somewhat. It shouldn't vary a lot. If this California judge said, hey, this much money and these restrictions are good, it would be very, very weird for a Louisiana judge to say, oh no amount of money and no restrictions. That would be very uncommon.
Despite YoungBoy's lengthy criminal history, he only got 23 months with a plea deal on the firearms case, which is why many people online believe he could have snitched on other people. But it's important that YoungBoy keeps himself in check. If he returns to the way he was before prison, he won't be free for long, because prosecutors hate when rappers beat their case, as they like to make an example out of them. If YoungBoy continues on the path he was, constantly getting into beef with other rappers and rapping self-incriminating lyrics, he will end up right back in jail. Not only did YoungBoy do this with Jada Yungeen, but even NLE Choppa got furious with YoungBoy, despite once being a fan of him, because Choppa supported YoungBoy with a song titled Free YoungBoy. But Choppa changed his thoughts on YoungBoy once he heard YoungBoy dissed Von after he passed, because he dropped the song Bring the Hook in 2022. This had the rap industry reacting with academics tweeting, YoungBoy on Demon Time right now, and he dropping another whole tape. Lil Reese responded back, that ain't no Demon Time, he just rapping like the rest of these rappers all rap, which is where we saw Choppa side with Reese and OTF by saying, I stamp that. Just from Choppa saying that, YoungBoy got angry and dissed Choppa by rapping. I bet your mama be destroyed when we send you to God for making statements, choosing sides about my beef with them boys. I could say I saw it, you could say I was your favorite, which had Choppa going on to Academics podcast to speak on why he switched sides.
He's not able to defend his name, bro, and it be a lot going on within his name about him when, to me, bro, he a real stand-up dude, and it was just unfortunate how it happened. Like, he came to a person as a man.
He even released this statement on YoungBoy. YoungBoy needs to be more careful. He's got a lot of people looking up to him, and he needs to set a better example. He needs to stay out of trouble and focus on his music. But we finally saw him end the beef with the DJ Vlad interview.
When you heard that, what'd you think?
It was funny to me.
I feel like, it's not serious when it hit the net. It's funny. I mean, it's just entertainment to me.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Good song. Nice bars.
Similar to YoungBoy is Pooh Shiesty, who's being released soon but has a history of breaking the law. Did you know Pooh Shiesty's mom just updated his release date on her Facebook, as he's the first rapper to commit an armed robbery in a McLaren and flex it on Instagram hours later while flying in a private jet out of the state.
The barrage of sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands.
With Shiesty facing serious charges, his lawyers secured him a proffer deal to have him released from jail in 2025. His mother shared his release date as rappers were calling him a snitch in the industry. But his best friend Big 30 defended him on IG Live.
My mama, if you see some paperwork, my mama, I do whatever y'all tell me to do. Cause my eyebrows, mustache, hair, I throw my chains in the river and jump in and if Shiesty snitch. Go home, take one to the. I ain't got no rat.
Rappers were dissing him for snitching, but didn't know the truth, which is why academics explained that Shiesty's jail situation isn't normal for someone who committed his charges.
But salute to Pooh Shiesty, who looked like he's absolutely chilling in jail. My boy got a little Richard Melly, you know what I mean? Got the haircut all right. You know what I mean?
They be playing Fortnite Mobile.
In jail? Oh, he got the Timbs on. They look fresh as well. Yo, this so chilling in prison. He got 2 watches. Like, you know what I mean? Like 2 watches, not even 1.
But to understand his official release date, it's important to learn the update in his court case, because academics tweeted out, Pooh Shiesty is at a halfway house, he's gonna be home soon. In the original crime files, it states that Shiesty and his friend were setting up a meet for high-end sneakers and narcotics. Shiesty's seen arriving in a bright green McLaren. Awaiting the seller's arrival, Shiesty and his boy made a plan to steal the items from the 2 men. Once the seller came, Shiesty began doing a legit check on the sneaker, which gave his boy enough time to get into position for what was about to go down. Shiesty tried to get them to drop the price of the goods, however it turned into an argument which had Shiesty grabbing a firearm from out of his waistband. The 2 sellers tried running away and ducking behind their car, but they were too slow, as Shiesty hit both of them, with one in the backside and one in the hip. As Shiesty was handling the 2 men, his friend grabbed the sneakers and narcotics and quickly threw them into the McLaren. With his friend jumping in the passenger seat, Shiesty did one more scan to make sure they weren't retaliating and hopped in the McLaren. However, one problem was, Shiesty slammed the car door down, which shook his Louis Vuitton bag out of the door's side pocket. Not only did it have $40,000 in it, but the feds used this bag to identify Shiesty from the crime scene. Immediately after leaving the scene, Shiesty went straight to the closest Miami airport, rented a private jet, and flew out of Florida. Although the feds caught up with Shiesty just a couple days later.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted with a. He's also charged with armed robbery, battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet.
With him in jail, he bonded out for $30,000. However, his trial came around 2 months later, leading him to be sentenced.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you. You have 2 attorneys here, or is it? I'm sorry, 2 attorneys in the state. Go ahead. You want to announce again?
Brad Cohen and Sam Zegny for the defendant.
Right. Have you had a chance to review?
Yes, Judge, we have.
Fast forward to the end of his court case, academics reported Pooh Shiesty sentenced to 63 months in prison. He was facing 8 years. As the Memphis rapper would be officially sentenced, 63 months for firearm charges and robbery seems low, which academics agreed with and said how he's almost released already.
And I think he's coming home like next year, maybe the year after. However, it looked like he's, taking responsibility of whatever happened and doing his time, not crying, clearly trying to let people know he's straight. And I do think when he comes back out, granted, as long as it's not like too far from now, if he comes back in a year, he's good. I still think even within 2 years.
Even Shiesty's mother wrote on her Facebook saying, "It's over," which went viral online. But committing crimes is nothing new for Pooh Shiesty. Many believe Shiesty was trying to paint an image to help boost his rap career by committing a crime. But it was later revealed, Shiesty's been doing this his entire life.
Yeah, I mean, look, Pooh Shiesty was probably the biggest artist that he signed in recent memory. But Pooh Shiesty had a history of crimes before he ever signed to Gucci. It ain't like, he was like a school kid and Gucci suddenly put him in a bad direction. No, he was already doing it. Gucci wasn't around when he was doing all the crazy they got him locked up for. It just is what it is. When people
Pooh
want to blame...
Shiesty's in prison right now for somebody in the ass with a go while sitting inside of a McLaren.
Yeah.
Some Grand Theft Auto shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's who he was before that. So it's like, that ain't a surprise. And Gucci ain't gonna tell you like he can't just change who you are as a person. So it's like, you know, but people come up with the conspiracy theories and the life insurance shit, whatever.
However, he's being released early for one reason. Pooh Shiesty created a proffer deal with the feds. A proffer is when the criminal provides additional information to the feds for the offense they committed for immunity, or in this case, a lesser sentence. While it sounds like he snitched by the description of the proffer, all he really did was snitch on himself and explained how he did the crime. And the main thing he did for the feds was highlighting the mistakes he made. Like, for example, the first mistake was how he pulled off his armed robbery right beside a police station, as the camera footage of the crime going down is from the police station's camera just across the street. Once the sound of firearms in the area were heard, the police knew exactly where to go and arrived to the parking lot immediately, which had the cops recovering the Louis Vuitton bag that Shiesty dropped. With the bag holding $40,000 in cash, the feds had a unique idea on how to solve the crime and whose bag it was, because the feds were tipped off by the public that Shiesty could have been involved. So they opened up his Instagram and downloaded photos of him spreading money across his body. And due to unbelievable detective skills, they found the serial numbers off the money in the bag, lined up with money that Shiesty had in his photos. However, Shiesty made an even worse mistake, because on the same night of the crime, Shiesty posted selfies of him with the bright green McLaren, almost like he was asking for the feds to find and arrest him. But with rappers continuously calling Shiesty a snitch, he wouldn't allow it any longer, because he released a lengthy statement from jail, as he called out ops that were trying to throw disrespect on his name. King Shiesty tapping in from the middle of the penitentiary. I remain untouched. I have millions in double digits. Tell Google to fix my net worth. We can verify that right now. I'm locked up, not messed up. I was 21, up 8 figures. Jay-Z can't even relate to my money. Stop playing with my name before I buy one of you for sale. You guys aren't anything. I put on this stuff every day, twice on Sundays. I'm on the same stuff from Tokyo to Tennessee. I ain't never got scared that no one ever played with me. I'm still the man of Memphis, the king no matter what jungle. Slick is almost the same man, just a little more powerful. But talking about Baby Larry, how did you let a man in the feds outdo you? You can't beat me. You need your hands in the game before you do something with me. For my fans, supporters, and loved ones holding me down every day, keep it solid. I promise it doesn't go unnoticed. I see everything and have something special for all of y'all. The rest of you guys are done. Keep hating, false advertising, backbiting, and counting me out. It's up and stuck like a treehouse. I'm touching down. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going 100% on you guys. As Shiesty continues to stand tall in jail, but he originally sent out this message before he was arrested.
Really when I got signed, but I'm gonna tell you before I got signed, like breaking news. The verse on breaking news made everybody go crazy, and folks started saying I'm their favorite rapper already, so I'm gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just made me go harder.
So the success kind of gave you the confidence to really keep it up?
Yeah, they rocking with me for sure.
Man.
It's in my first verse.
But with Pooh Shiesty's prison sentence nearing its end, the rapper is expected to be released very soon. And it's reported that Shiesty's been waiting for his return to music. He says he has a lot of fresh ideas he can't wait to create. Do you think Shiesty will return and pick up his music career right where he left off?